Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are going to be talking about some beginner basics type of stuff that you should know as you embark on your Age of Empires 4 journey. This is a new game, getting a lot of hype, a lot of attention right now, a lot of people diving in and wanting to play it. So we're going to go over some of the basics. If you are like a pro level RTS gamer god, you're not going to get a whole lot of value out of this video. It's going to be more aimed at those beginners that are looking for a refresher course on some beginning tips to really make sure you know as you dive into Age of Empires 4. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so in this one, we're going to be going over 10 tips that, in my opinion, you should watch out for as you are starting out in Age of Empires 4. And the first thing I want to talk about is it is vastly worth your time to just take a few minutes and go through the learning section and at least learning the faction specific things for your civilization, because you don't want to know those in terms of those mechanics and how they function as you are playing. You can access this learning screen from the main menu, or you can actually get to it in game if you just go hit escape and get to the main tab here, and then you click on this tech trees button right here, and you can actually navigate the different civs up here, but it'll default on the one you're playing right here. And this is so important because you can go through the age and kind of see what's going on. It'll take 5 minutes of your time, and it's worth going through and really understanding, especially if you're going to be playing one civ a lot. You really want a deep understanding of how they function, because you can learn things like okay, in age 2 I'm going to be making the choice between the King's Palace and the White Tower, and by the way, they have a little icon on the bottom left indicating that they are civ specific for them. You can see here on the first age with the Council Hall and the Abbey of Kings, on the bottom left you get that little icon that means unique to English. So that is something to watch out for as well as you're going through this. But you can learn little things like okay, the King's Palace, it says right here that it's going to act as a town center with all the behaviors, technology, units, and bonuses. So what this means is if you want a double town center strategy where you can pump out a bunch of villagers, you could just rush to age 3 instead of rushing to get a bunch of stone and build another town hall, because right here you don't even need stone. This is going to be food and gold that will get you that next town center where you can pump out villagers twice as fast. So you can learn little quirks like that, little bonuses that your civ is going to have that will make you formulate a lot more optimal strategies as you are playing them. Next up, for number 2, I want to talk about the settings tab right here. This is super important. There's going to be some things that you want at your disposal. I'm not going to go over every single thing. That would be a separate video for itself, but there's some really important things to take note of it. And under the UI, you do want to go through and get some things here like health bars always on, so you can see what is going on and the health of things, construction bars. You definitely want this show game duration timer that can help you when you're optimizing strategies. You can think in your head like, okay, it's 6 minutes into the game and my opponent doesn't have fuel yet. They might be trying something like having that clock to help you make sure builds are right and make sure timings from your opponent are kind of what you expected them to be. That is very important to have that show game duration timer on. You can see right there up top, it says 11:05, 11:06, and it's ticking up. That will help you keep track of the game and the flow of how everything is going. Another one that I think is super important to have on personally is this show pinned player information. We're going to tick that to on, and then when we come out to the game, you can see over on the far right side of the screen, right up there, it says my name and then what age I am in currently, and that will actually show your opponent as well. So very nice to have that available to you and kind of see everybody in the game and what age they are in currently. I believe it is not on by default, so you do want to go in and turn that on. And like I said, we won't go over every single one, but the last one I want to talk about in the settings tab here is this idle villager setting, because your preference is going to be different than other people's maybe, and this is a very important one you're going to end up using a lot. So what this means is if you have an idle villager, when you click on the little icon down bottom left where it shows that they're sleeping, will you go ahead and follow them? Will you just select them, or will you select and center on them? Now, this can be annoying and really dependent on preference, because some people are going to be close to where they want to send an idle worker to. So if you have select and center, you're going to click that icon. It's going to go all the way across the map to that worker, and then you're gonna have to go all the way back to where you wanted to send them. But if you have it to select only, now let's say you're in the forest where you want to send your idle worker to. You click the sleeping worker button, and it won't move you to them. So you can click the sleeping button and click the tree, and it will never moved your camera. So play around with that for a couple minutes and see which way you like better. Some people do like to see where their workers are idle and have it center on them instead of just selecting them. So that's going to come down to you and what you like. Play around with it for a couple minutes and see which works better for you. For number 3, I'm going to talk about how important control groups are. Like I said in the intro, if you are an RTS expert, you know this for sure. Being able to tab through your different control groups and manage your macro and your micro of your buildings and units is extremely important. So figure out a setup that works for you. It's worth taking a few minutes and planning it out. Like, okay, number 1 is going to be my main town center, so I can just hit 1 Q to keep my worker pump going. And then I'm going to put all of my like production buildings for military under 5, so I can hit 5 and then be able to tab through my different production buildings and select them and kind of tab through and build my army without having to go back to my base and look at it. I'm going to put my archers under 3 so I can move them around, keep them in the back line, keep them behind my spears, stuff like that. But definitely work out a rotation of control groups that is right for you, because it is probably the most important thing to playing the game effectively and consistently. And in a similar concept or topic to that, I want to talk about shift commands. These are super important. I use them hundreds of times in every game. You can do tons of cool things. Like you can have some workers. Let's say I'm about to get supply stuck. So I want to build a house. I'm going to build a house. I'm going to hold shift while I'm doing it. And then I'm going to switch over to a mining camp. So after that, they will build a mining camp. I'm still holding shift. I'm still queuing things up. Then I can just right click a few times on the stone. They're going to build the house. They're going to build the mining camp and then start mining stone. So you can queue those things up and they will just go shift, build it, shift, build it, shift, start collecting stone, and they will be proceeding according to plan while you are off doing other things. They'll have all those commands queued up and play efficiently. And shift commands can also be super incredible if you've got like archers that you don't want to kind of run through a really hot, dangerous spot. You can have them like hold shift, move back here, then come over here, and then come around. So you can have them kind of go around things. You can manipulate your army on the battlefield without having to personally sit here and watch them and make sure they go the route you want them to go in terms of the pathing that you would prefer. You can use shift commands to have them go around something, and it really works well with that initial scout early in the game when you're looking for sheep. You can go ahead and shift command and send your scout all over looking for sheep while you are back at your base managing things and playing efficiently. For number 5, I want to talk about power building. Now, this is not always the most optimal thing to do, but there are some certain situations like getting to that next age as fast as possible, throwing a bunch of workers onto that landmark to get it finished ASAP, or if you're supply stuck, you take some villagers, you slam out a house really quick to go ahead and keep progressing. So there are situations where you want to power build something. So you don't always have to use one villager to build something. You can like, oh geez, I'm supply stuck, I need a house ASAP. I can select all my workers here on stone, build a house, and then shift command them back onto the stone, and they will erect that house extremely fast, way faster than one worker being on there, and boom, you can see in a matter of seconds it is built and they're back to mining stone. So definitely take advantage in the right situation of using multiple villagers to power build something and get it done as soon as possible. For number 6, I want to talk about macro tabbing, and this is amazingly effective. You can actually put all of your production buildings on one hotkey. You can see here, I've got the council hall, the barracks, and the stable all on my number 5 hotkey, and you can actually mouse over it over there on the far left. It will show you I've got 3 things on hotkey number 5, and then it shows them right there. So if I hit 5 to select that, I can actually tab through these different buildings. Right now you can see it's showing the different rally points based on which one I'm tabbed on. So let's say I'm off doing something off on the map somewhere. I can hit 5. Now I've got all of them selected. I can hit tab, and boom, this is my council hall where I can pump out some archers. I hit tab again. Now I'm on my barracks. I can pump out some spears. And then I hit tab again, and now I'm on my stables, and I can pump out some cavalry. So if you get in the rotation and get used to that, you can be off doing your thing, microing a battle. You hit that selection key to select everything, and then just tab on through and go ahead and produce everything. Now, if you select them, you don't have to tab on through. It will do its best to fill the card up with some things to produce things, but it's not going to be able to put them all on there because of the grid system. So the most effective way to get used to this is to go ahead and select it and then tab on through one by one and get everything produced while you are out playing and getting other things done. It will help your ability to multitask immensely. But tabbing is not only effective for building things, it's actually incredible for microing your units during a battle as well. You can see right here, I've got some archers and some cav and some spears. It's really bad to have them all just kind of sitting here in a clump like this. You want them to be managed effectively on the battlefield. So what you can do is while you're kind of moving into battle, I can tab through while I've got them selected. It's going to have my archers first. I can pull them back, keep them. I can then hit tab again, and I got my cav. I can send them to come over from the side. I hit tab again. I can get my spears in the proper position here in front of my archers. I can kind of tab through, get my archers, move them around, back them up, get them in formation, tab again, got my cav, rotate them around to go for a flank, tab again. I'm on my spears, keeping them in front. So as you get used to the tabbing rotation of your army, you can have your entire army have one hotkey and simply tab through while you're managing them on the battlefield. So tabbing is amazing, not only for production, but also microing your armies effectively. Now at number 8, I want to talk about the select all on screen button, because this is incredible and not enough people know about this. But you can actually hit Control A to select everything that is currently on your screen. So you can see right here, when I hit Control A, it's going to select all of the archers and kind of the army that I have right there. And it even selected the sheep right here that I've got sitting back at home. So again, Control, I'm holding down Control, and then I hit A. And boom, it's going to select everything. And then I can kind of tab through and pick specific things that I want to select out of there. You can really narrow it down to the workers or the certain army that you'll be going after. Control A will do that for you. There is also a really good utilization of this. Like, let's say I'm like, where is my scout? I have no idea where my scout is. I don't remember what hotkey it was on. I have no idea how to find my scout. I know it's around here somewhere. Control A. Okay, no scout. Control A. Control A. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, here's my scout. All right, there it is. So this is a way that you can effectively find things within your base super quick in 1 or 2 seconds just by using that Control A to go ahead and select, and then see what is being selected down here on the left side of the bottom left cards. And that will help you locate things that otherwise may have taken you a while, like sitting here trying to zoom in and be like, where is my scout? I know it was around here somewhere. Just use that Control A function and see what's popping up. At number 9, I want to talk about utilizing walls. This is so important, and so many people neglect this way too often, but walls are actually extremely cheap for how much value you get out of them. So, you know, I want to like lessen the amount of areas that my opponent is going to have available to them to access my base quickly. You can do things like grab a couple workers or even just one worker, and for super cheap, you can go ahead and left click to get the wall started, and then drag down here and a left click to finish it. You can see for just 45 lumber, I'm able to completely wall this off. So my opponent is not going to be able to get in here and harass my villagers from the side. They would have to come from a different angle. And now what I can do is keep my army over here at that angle. And if they do try to come through here, now they can do things like battering rams and stuff to blast through that and get to you in that direction. But it's going to give you a warning system. It's going to give you a chance. They can't just fly in here with cav and start assassinating your villagers. You're going to have a response time to react to that, and you'll have less places that you have to be with your army protecting things. So definitely utilize walls. Way too many people put that off way too long and don't use them enough. But it is worth noting that after your wall is complete, things like this can happen where you actually screw yourself over with your wall and you end up with a villager. Oh, geez, it's going to take 45 seconds. My villager's got to go all the way around to get back into my base. So you do want to go ahead and actually take the time and the effort to put a gate, and you can see which direction the gate is going to be facing. I want this to be facing out like that. So we go ahead and we build the gate here as part of our wall. You can place it wherever you would like, and then that's going to allow you access through your own wall. So your wall is not screwing you over. It's only screwing your opponent over. Because now you see my villager is able to easily walk through here, and now I don't have to worry about going all the way around because I got that nice gate for me to have access to. And then at number 10 here, I want to talk about making sure you are effectively collecting lumber. It's an extremely important resource, especially if you're cranking out all those archers, which are very good units. You want to make sure, you look how far my villagers are walking. So when I first built this, this mill right here, this lumber camp, it was close to the trees. The trees were right up here on it. But as I mine more and more trees, every now and then you're going to want to, I'm recording a video, but realistically, I would have done this a lot sooner. Probably when the trees got to about right here, I would have went ahead and put down another a lumber mill here, lumber camp, whatever, so that when the trees were right here, I can keep collecting super fast and super efficiently. It's going to help you snowball further and further ahead of your opponent. If they forget to do this, they're walking twice as far as you to collect wood. So you want to do this every now and then. It's super quick. You can build it cheap and fast, and it will help you keep snowballing those resources further and further ahead of your opponent. So go ahead and throw these up to make sure you are collecting resources efficiently with your lumber. It is totally worth it to keep an eye on that, and you'll see good players in Age of Empires doing this all the time, moving those lumber mills forward as they are chopping down trees, especially on big forests. When it's super small gatherings of trees that you're kind of just trying to take advantage of late game when all the big forests have ran out, it's not super important. But on a big clump like this, you do want to keep the production returning for your villagers to be close so they can gather that much more efficiently. So alrighty, that does it for the 10 tips I wanted to get covered in this video. Maybe we'll dive in to do 10 more or more beginner tips. I'm looking forward to doing things like casting matches, showing some of my matches, showing some wins, some losses, to kind of learn from the good and the bad of things that are happening in my matches, and then cast maybe some pro level games on the channel to give you a look of what is going on maybe in the meta and react to that. I used to cast games a while back in StarCraft and was in StarCraft teams and played StarCraft at a high level, but I am having fun with Age of Empires 4, looking to diving into it more for you here on the channel and bringing you lots of content for everything from beginner guides to up to pro level matches that we're going to cast and kind of react to here on the channel. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your feedback down below. Would really enjoy hearing from you as well. So that'll do it for me on this one. Thank you for watching. Peace.